If I had to make a list of the most influential people in my life, right at the top would sit my dad. Through my dad, I got my love for pop culture, gaming, and movies. And one of the highlights of my years would be when he and his group of friends would go to E3, and the night he'd returned, he would always have the coolest little trinkets, hats, and shirts, and I still have some to this day. One of them is Evolved, and that game was terrible. One day when he was at WonderCon, though, he played a new little tiny game, and from there, my life was changed. Castle Crashers released on August 2008, and the fact that the game is 13 years old is absolutely mental. The first memory I have of the game is over at my cousin's house, just grinding away at it. It was a 4-player side-scroller beat-em-up, but it was so much more unique than that. The amount of powers, weapons, pets, and characters was absolutely absurd. The first character I ever played at was the Orange Knight, or the Fire Knight. He shot fireballs. He was cool. He seemed brash, powerful, and a very exciting character. I played as the Orange Knight for, years, 7 or 8 years. Even after I unlocked all the new characters, I just kept playing as him. I felt like he reflected the type of person I was. In the FGC, a lot of players are reflected by the characters they play, like how Mango plays Falco in Melee, a rash, exciting, partying type character. I also felt similar to the Orange Knight. There is no way I can actually talk about Castle Crashers and not talk about the music and the bosses. The Castle Crashers opening theme is the most epic and awesome theme I've ever heard. Every time I hear it, I get chills, dude. It makes you feel like you're about to go to war. I cannot describe to you the euphoria it gives me and the instant testosterone rush I get. It sounds like something straight from the Lord of the Rings or something that would play while the Avengers are all back to back. Hey. Avengers Assemble, you know what I'm saying? Only the real ones know. It is absolutely amazing. And the bosses, golly, the bosses are incredible. From the lazy lava Cyclops, who's just sad about the fact that you killed his friend, to Medusa, to the final boss being a spider demon thing, I absolutely adore the bosses of Castle Crashers. And the best of them all was the Bat. I think this battle against the Bat Knight, or whatever he's called, I don't remember the actual name, summarizes exactly how I feel about this game. Every time we played against that boss, we felt so intense. It was such a good, hard, intense boss fight that I have never forgot. It was actually harder than the final boss, I swear. And I still love it to this day. Man, I just cannot express how awesome it was to beat the game for the first time. I was with my brother and my 2 cousins. We had lost to the boss 2 times in a row that day, and we were coming back for the final run before we had to go home. In Castle Crashers, after every boss, you get back one of the princesses, and they were always super duper hot. Even to like 5 or 8 year old me or whatever. But this was the last princess, right? So she must have been hotter than all. We beat the final boss with very, very little HP left. It was really intense, and we all fought to get the princess. That was another unique thing about Castle Crashers is after you beat the boss, you fought each other for the right to kiss the princess. I remember my brother, the very first time we played it, my brother was the one who actually ended up catching her. And after playing the game for a solid 30 to 40 hours probably, we were finally able to see our reward. When the final credits roll, you get an amazing shot of everything that's happened, slowly making your way back through the slaughter that has commenced. You see all the levels and all the enemies you have conquered. As the opening theme plays, you realize just how far you've come. From the opening castle, the slime caves, the flowery fields, the barren deserts, the snowy mountains, and one final boss battle. You've been through such a massive journey, and you won. And you have your prize of the princess right in front of you. Oh my, and she's a clown! Yeah, she's a clown! And she does a clown dance, and she dances with penguins, and it's disgusting and disturbing. All our efforts to kiss the last hottie of the princess, and the game just debates us. After we laughed at this for a little bit, we realized that we had actually just beat the game, like through and through. We were done. Well, what comes next? Most games you play and you put away. Well, when we came over the next day, we popped the disc into my uncle's old Xbox 360, and we started it again from the first level, and it was as fun as the second time as the first. I can't tell you how many times I've played and beat this game. It's a minimum of 30 though. But there's just no game as good as it. Every time someone would ask me for game suggestions, it would always be the first game I'd say. It's fun, it's 4-player, it's easy to pick up, and has massive replayability. I played Castle Crashers for years, all the way till my freshman year of high school, and at that point I was just playing different games and didn't have time to replay Castle Crashers again. And neither did my cousins or my brothers. It had been years since they had come over to play it, and I just didn't have any reasons to play, I guess. But a couple months ago, after me and my dad beat all of Cuphead hardcore mode, we were looking for a game to play, and we scrolled past Castle Crashers. It has been a solid 2 years since I've played that game, but we booted it up. That classical music hit me, and I felt my old emotions for the game flood back. When the character select screen came on, I saw all my old progress on my characters, all around level 6 or 7, and my one level 98 Orange Knight. But this time, I didn't pick that character. I chose the Blue Knight, the Ice Knight. I wasn't the same kid I was 6 years ago, so I'm not going to play the same knight now. There's a lot more I could talk about with Castle Crashers. The awesome levels, the unique fighting system, the incredible bosses. But anyone who's already played the game knows that. I probably wouldn't even be playing games today or be close to the family members I'm close with if it weren't for this game. So honestly, from the deepest part of my heart, thank you for creating this game, Behemoth, and thank you for letting me play it.